we're going to be taking a look at, as the title suggests, the GF45mm f2.8 RWR. We're actually filming with the lens right now on the GFX 100S, so how is it faring? Anyway, we're going to take a look at it up close, throw up some random unedited samples as always, have a chat about it, and then pass it over to you guys and girls in the comments below. So yeah, let's crack on. This gives you a 36mm in 35mm format equivalent, so a nice standard, well-known, well-appreciated field of view. Angle of view is 62.6 degrees. Within this not particularly chunky thing, you know, it's quite light, 490 grams. Within it, there's 11 elements in 8 groups, 1 aspherical, 2 ED elements. We've got an aperture range of 2.8 to 32. So a very healthy range with the A mode available via this push button here and the C2. So that's not moving anywhere. Nice 3 steps around there. Very, very nice, healthy, clicky thing. Manual focusing ring, typical for these GF lenses, the ones I've tried so far anyway. It's a nice rubber texture there. Nice, smooth, very well dampened. Manual focus, of course, there's no scale or anything there. On the top, you've got a 62mm filter thread, so we'll pop the protector back on that came with this one. Fujifilm kindly loaned me this, and we've got this nice hood too. So the overall, without the rear cap, is very decent. Typical metal mount at the back with all the contacts. It's another quality feeling lens. You are paying about $15.79 for this, so you'd expect it to be nice and premium, high quality, possibly conflict in there. Focus range, interestingly, 45 centimeters to infinity. We'll see how we get on with some 45 centimeter f2.8 shots and see what the bokeh's like. See how we fare at the other end, maybe some sort of urban landscapes. Let's see how we get on with this as a little hybrid number. I think that's all the stats that we need to talk about. If there's any other specs out there, then, you know, you can check that out for yourself online. As always, weather resistance. I'm not going to be putting that to some extreme test, but, you know, if it rains, it rains. In fact, I did use the GFX 100S with the 80 on a job the other day, and it was raining. It was very cold, so yeah, these things are built to work with. After some use, I'm happy to say it's another top quality lens from Fujifilm. It performs as expected and does well with the GFX 100S body that I've got here. It's a pretty trouble-free, discreet as can be design with weather sealing that should stand up to long-term abuse and keep the lens performing for a very, very long time. The lens lets in a decent amount of light, and combined with the big sensor of the GFX 100S, it's a very useful, usable standard wide, even in low light shooting, which is handy given the really dull light and conditions this time of year here in the UK. More on the IQ a little bit later though. Suffice to say, the build quality, the handling is first rate, as you would hope. It gives me the feeling that I could use this lens for more pick up and go everyday stuff than the system is really designed for, and actually I did. That's also down to the camera, but the relative size of the lens saw me using it for the most random shots, as you can see here while I was testing the lens. One very minor point though, that lens hood doesn't have the lock-in button of the other GF lenses. It hasn't come loose for me though, but you know, it's maybe worth mentioning if we're nitpicking. Firstly, as comfortable as the camera and lens feels in use, considering the sensor size and glass in play, you soon remember that this isn't at those, ultimate full frame speeds that the internet goes crazy about, and that's generally totally fine. The gear isn't quite designed to be used in fast-paced environments, but it's really progressing well. And if you remember that, if you remember that you need a millisecond or so more, there's no cause for panic. Autofocus is definitely the lens's most noticeable flaw, and I think the following rough and ready tests will give you a clue where it's at. Either way, it doesn't make the lens unusable at all. I'm not sure what those internet speed freaks are shooting these days to want instantaneous autofocus all the time, but that's a rant for another day. We're getting stellar image quality all round, albeit not necessarily inspiring initially, maybe, which is fine if you have specific applications for the lens, as opposed to the fairly random tests that I put it through, at least what I've included in this video, that is. Put this one in the, let's say, workhorse category and get productive without worrying about any image flaws. The lens combines perfectly with the camera to give superb resolution, close to perfect image quality. I could see no issues with distortion or chromatic aberration. It's just a cracking top level lens when it comes to image quality. It's sharp across the frame from wide open onwards, and bokeh is well controlled, nothing to distract the eye while not being particularly, magical. Here's a quick clip where I set the ISO to 100 in this case and shoot through the aperture range to see if anything wild happens. But what do they say? TLDR, it's not likely. At £1,579, I'd say the price is fair. Nothing is particularly cheap in the GF world, but this lens is almost perfect, albeit more of a workhorse than a magical one, and it works extremely well at resolving that bigger sensor. So a very worthy investment if you need a nice standard wide angle lens. Now the lens has been out for a while now and may well be the standard wide to get at this aperture. The cheaper 50mm is close and only a touch slower, so the differences between the two might make it a personal decision as to which to buy. I still need a lot more time with that 50mm to be able to comment further, but let us know how you fared with this lens and I'll see you very soon.